So it's been sort of a long day, and we're getting to the kind of culmination of it. I'm sure people will see this pretty much as kind of as the day kind of winds down. We're seeing a lot of the salty Xbox fans and things like that. Sony has been actually on a really, really good roll for the past couple of days. I got to say, I'm very impressed with what they've been able to accomplish. Not only have they been able to accomplish, but they've really kind of made some killer announcements that and teases that have Xbox fans maybe questioning their king Phil Spencer just a little bit. So I kind of want to get into this because there's a lot to talk about, and I'm sure you guys want to hear about it. What's up, everybody? Crapgamer here with Crapgamer Reviews. Slap that like button. While you guys are slapping that like button for me, I would really appreciate it. Thank you guys for rocking out with me and always being so cool and things like that. Again, this is one of the things that I always talk about. It comes down to a lot more than just this game versus this game. Now, Microsoft, on the other hand, are definitely going about things in a little bit different way. The interesting thing is, the way that they're going doesn't seem to be a very good way at all. And we saw that Sony were actually doing some good things. The way that they were advertising Ratchet and Clank, okay? Like, for instance, we were really showing that Ratchet and Clank was a game that is a visual stunning game. It's a game that really showcases what the PlayStation 5 can do. It's a game that shows exactly why you should buy a PlayStation 5. This is why people get upset about it, because we got to be honest about these types of things. Games that are held back by previous generation hardware aren't going to be all they can be. And so when we see a game that isn't held back by last gen hardware, we see that, hey, you know what? This is a situation where, we're right as fans. Like, I know that a lot of us aren't like super techie or anything like that, but at the end of the day, we keep seeing these games that are, and then when we look at Ratchet and Clank and we see like the article at Digital Foundry where they're talking about it, in the videos where they're talking about it, again, we see what we're missing, and that to me is very much a sore topic. I just really feel like that's something that a lot of people probably won't want to talk about, just for the fact that how things are kind of going and the way that people kind of react with the jealousy and stuff like that. So yesterday, Insomniac Games obviously went crazy, or 2 days ago. They were teasing Sunset Overdrive. They were talking about, they teased a bunch of games, okay? So they brought back the Sunset Overdrive Twitter account, and they were teasing all kinds of stuff. It was all kinds of inner PlayStation teasing. But the main thing is they got Sunset Overdrive trending. They got a game trending that released in 2014 as an Xbox One exclusive that nobody bought as an Xbox fan, and that, at the end of the day was a game that deserved a sequel, but Phil Spencer said no to a sequel. Meanwhile, now Sony has bought this studio that's putting in work on these game after game after game, and able to get these games out at a tremendous pace, and people are getting jealous. I'm starting to see people maybe turn a little bit on Phil Spencer, turn a little bit saying, hey, why did you buy these guys instead of In Exile or Compulsion Games, these studios that really probably aren't going to do much, and give us some real games. You know what I mean? Like, if you think about this, Phil Spencer had the ability to greenlight a sequel to Sunset Overdrive well before Sony bought them, right? Like, they teased a sequel and everything like that at the end of the game. It was my game of the year 2014 personally, but it's just so funny to me that we see such a stark contrast in what's happening. Same thing with Quantum Break. Like, these games didn't obviously sell a ton, but why wouldn't you greenlight a Quantum Break 2? And we could have had that. Like, when Control released, that could have been Quantum Break 2. But, obviously there's some kind of falling out there between Microsoft and Remedy Entertainment, in my opinion anyway. I'm not saying I know that for sure, but clearly since they went and did Control for, I think, $8 million, that was the publishing rights for that. I mean, Microsoft could have done, could have got that on the cheap if they wanted to. That could have been exclusive. They could have got them to do a sequel to Quantum Break. Alan Wake was another game that they were begging to let Microsoft do. So yeah, we keep seeing this stuff kind of pop up, and fans are starting to a little bit notice, how that really kind of works. You know what I mean? How this kind of works for fans. I just got to say that this is exactly what happens when, a company sort of pays attention to what they're doing. Okay. At the end of the day, we're seeing some tremendous things come out from Sony. And when you see Phil Spencer on the other side, just basically tell his tribe to wait. We've got to wait. We've got to wait for E3. We've got to wait for this. We've got to wait for that. You start to see some of these people get a little bit pissed off about it, and you can understand it. Now, Phil Spencer even went out and did the Phil Spencer thing where he's like, hey, congratulations for releasing your game. It's great. We're all just gamers here, which is cool. I don't have a problem with that. I think that, but if you look at a lot of the comments, it seems like people are kind of just fed up, and some people are saying that they're going to leave Xbox and go to PlayStation and things like that. It's really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. And again, this is one of the things that happens when you got a guy who's been in charge for 7 years of Xbox, has come out with 4 different consoles, which the R&D time for these consoles has to be as long or even longer than some of these games to develop, and hasn't been able to release anything in 642 days now. And their whole company, Microsoft as a whole, hasn't released a first-party game this entire year so far. So, I mean, to me, it's a little bit weird, and I sense that frustration. Like, I don't know what people expect of me to say, like to keep quiet about this stuff, or to say what I, to not report on what I see in the comments and stuff like that. Obviously, you see some of the comments where people are like, Phil, like, I don't know how in tune these guys are, but they're like, Phil, you should buy Insomniac Game Studios and make them part of Xbox Studios. Like, this is something that realistically, I mean, obviously it can't be done, but this is one of the things that I talk about all the time. And when we see, Phil kind of go out there and just kind of praise the other, I mean, how many times do we got to see it? And I know people might go, well, how many times has Sony go out there and congratulate Microsoft for a good game? And the thing that I would say is the comedy sketch writes itself. What good games? Like, Microsoft literally hasn't really released anything upper echelon in almost 2 years. Gears 5 2019, almost 2 years ago come this September, and there are in fact tweets from various people at PlayStation saying congratulations for releasing that game. Outside of that, there's nothing realistically exclusive to Xbox that's released that's been worth a damn. I mean, you go back a year and a Forza Horizon game was good, but even Ori 2, Cuphead, those games are all multi-plats now. I mean, you can't even look to them as being anything exclusive. So I understand where the frustration is coming. If people go, well, should I switch? That's not really on me. I don't really want to tell people what to do with their money. In my opinion, PlayStation seems to have a very big handle on putting their games out and stuff like that, and doing a better job with using the hardware. So it's a natural kind of choice, a natural kind of selection. But I did find this to be quite humorous, and would love your guys' thoughts and opinions on it. Thanks for watching. Have a fantastic day. Remember to slap that like button. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer. Out.